Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday, January 19th. It's going to be a good day today. It's going to be a good day today. I can feel it deep in my bones, okay? I can feel it. So, today we're going to jump into Job for a bit. And the first time I read this Bible, I was like, wait, Job is like, 300 to 400 pages down. Why am I reading Job in the middle of Genesis? Because that's where it took place. And so, because this is a chronological Bible and we're reading it in the order that it actually happened, not just the order that that the books happen to fall, it's actually, I think we finished Genesis. It's at the end of Genesis, and then we move on to Exodus. So we're going to be in Job for a while. We are going to be in Job until February 1st, and then we're going to move to Exodus. So I really love Job. I think it's a really powerful book. I think there's a lot of good word. There's a lot of good word in the whole word. I mean, obviously, it's the word. But there's a lot of good here and a lot that can be gleaned from Job. So, okay. I should put on my glasses so I can see. I need my bifocals back. I still can't see. I can't see when I put them on. I need my bifocals. Holy Hannah. All right. This is a note at the top. The account of Job is traditionally thought to have taken place around the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or shortly thereafter. However, it could have occurred as late as the exile. So we don't really know if this was taking place around Exodus or Genesis. So we're putting it at the end of Genesis. Prologue, Job 1 through 5. There once was a man named Job who lived in the land of Uz. He was blameless, a man of complete integrity. I love that. That's what I want. I want to hear, I cannot be called blameless. That's what I want to see written about me. There once was a girl named KJ from the city of Hermon. She was blameless, a woman of complete integrity. That's what I want written about me. He feared God and stayed away from evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 teams of oxen, and 500 female donkeys. He also had many servants. He was, in fact, the richest person in the entire area. I also want that to be said about me. Just kidding. Job's sons would take turns preparing feasts in their homes, and they would also invite their 3 sisters to celebrate with them. When these celebrations ended, sometime after several days, Job would purify his children. He would get up early in the morning and offer a burnt offering for each of them. For Job said to himself, "Perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." This was Job's regular practice. Job's first test, Job 1 through 22. One day the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser, Satan, came with them. "Where have you come from?" the Lord asked Satan. Satan answered the Lord, "I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on." Then the Lord asked Satan, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all of the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He fears God and stays away from evil." Satan replied to the Lord, "Yes, but Job has good reason to fear God. You have always put a wall of protection around him and his home and his property. You have made him prosper in everything he does. Look how rich he is. But reach out and take everything away that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." "All right, you may test him," the Lord said to Satan. "Do whatever you want with everything he possesses, but do not harm him physically." So Satan left the Lord's presence. One day, and I think there's a lot to be said about that right there, that sentence. The Lord told Satan, "Do whatever you want." Satan couldn't do it. Satan has no power. He has to have permission. I like that because he's Weasley. One day when Job's sons and daughters were feasting at the oldest brother's house, a messenger arrived at Job's home with the news. "Your oxen were plowing, with the donkeys feeding beside them, when the Sabians raided us. They stole all of your animals and killed all the farmhands. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger arrived with this news: "The fire of God has fallen from heaven and burned up your sheep and all the shepherds. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, a third messenger arrived with this news: "Three bands of Chaldean raiders have stolen your camels and killed your servants. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger arrived with this news: "Your sons and daughters were feasting in their oldest brother's home. Suddenly, a powerful wind swept in from the wilderness and hit the house on all sides. The house collapsed, and all of your children are dead. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." Job stood and tore his robe in grief. Then he shaved his head and fell to the ground in worship. He said, "I came naked from my mother's womb, and I will be naked when I leave. The Lord gave me what I had, and the Lord has taken it away. Praise the name of the Lord." In all of this, Job did not sin by blaming God. Job's second test, Job 2 1 through 10. One day the members of the heavenly court came again to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser Satan came with them. "Where have you come from?" the Lord asked Satan. Satan answered the Lord, "I have been patrolling the earth, watching everything that's going on." Then the Lord asked Satan, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He is the finest man in all of the earth. He is blameless, a man of complete integrity. He He fears God and stays away from evil, and he has maintained his integrity, even though you urged me to harm him without cause." Satan replied to the Lord, "Skin for skin. A man will give up everything he has to save his life, but reach out and take away his health, and he will surely curse you to your face." "All right, do as you please. Do to him as you please," the Lord said to Satan, "but spare his life." So Satan left the Lord's presence, and he struck Job with terrible boils from head to foot. Job scraped his skin with a piece of broken pottery as he sat among the ashes. His wife said to him, "Are you still trying to maintain your integrity? Curse God and die." What? What a rotten wife. Curse God and die. But Job replied, "You talk like a foolish woman. Should we accept only good things from the hand of God and never anything bad?" So in all of this, Job said nothing wrong. That is another thing. Listen, there is some good word up in here this morning in the book of Job. That is another thing. When bad things happen on the earth, when and I'm not saying God curses with hurricanes and curses with tornadoes, but we're always like, how could God do such a thing? How could God allow this to happen? Do we expect only the good things to happen to us? Always? Forever? We expect the Lord to only ever bless us with good? The Lord gives us trials. The Lord gives us hardships. It's all for a purpose. I need to shut up and just read. Job's three friends share his anguish. Job 2 11 through 13. When three of Job's friends heard of the tragedy he suffered, they got together and traveled from their homes to comfort and console him. Their names were Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. When they saw Job from a distance, they scarcely recognized him. Wailing loudly, they tore their robes and threw dust in the air over their heads to show their grief. Then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and nights. No one said a word to Job, for they saw that his suffering was too great for words. Job's first speech. At last Job spoke, and he cursed the day of his birth. He said, "Let the day of my birth be erased, and the night I was conceived. Let the day turn to darkness, let it be lost even to God on high, and let no light shine on it. Let the darkness and utter gloom claim the day for its own. Let a black cloud overshadow it, and let darkness terrify it. Let the night be blotted off the calendar, never again to be counted among the days of the year, never again to appear among the months. Let the night be childless, let it have no joy. Let those who are experts at cursing, whose cursing could rouse Leviathan, curse that day. Let its morning stars remain dark. Let it hope for light, but in vain. May it never see the morning light. Curse the day for failing to shut my mother's womb, for letting me be born to see all this trouble. Why wasn't I born dead? Why didn't I die as I came from the womb? Why was I laid on my mother's lap? Why did she nurse me at her breasts? Had I died at birth, I would now be at peace. I would be asleep and at rest. I would rest with the world's kings and prime ministers, whose great buildings now lie in ruins. I would rest with princes rich in gold, whose palaces were filled with silver. Why wasn't I buried like a stillborn child, like a baby who never lives to see the light? For in death the wicked cause no trouble, and the weary are at rest. Even captives are at ease in death, with no guards to curse them. Rich and poor are both there, and the slave is free from his master. Oh, why give light to those in misery, and life to those who are bitter? For they long for death, and it won't come. They search for death more eagerly than for hidden treasure. They're filled with joy when they finally die, and rejoice when they find the grave. Why is life given to those with no future? Those God has surrounded with difficulties. I cannot eat for sighing. My groans pour out like water. What I always feared has happened to me. What I dreaded has come true. I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest. Only comes trouble. Eliphaz's first response to Job, Job 4 1 through 21. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied to Job, "Will you be patient and let me say a word? For who could keep you from speaking out?" I said that wrong. Will you be patient and let me say a word? For who could keep from speaking out? In the past, you have encouraged many people. You have strengthened those who were weak. Your words have supported those who were failing. You encourage those with shaky knees. But now, when trouble strikes, you lose heart. You are terrified when it touches you. Doesn't your reverence for God give you confidence? Doesn't your life of integrity give you hope? Stop and think. Do the innocent die? When have the upright been destroyed? My experience shows that those who plant trouble and cultivate evil will harvest the same. A breath from God destroys them. They vanish in a blast of his anger. The lion roars from the wildcat, and the wildcat snarls, but the teeth of strong lions will be broken. The fierce lions will starve for their lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness will be scattered. The truth was given to me in secret, as though whispered in my ear. It came to me in a disturbing vision at night, when people are in a deep sleep. Fear gripped me, and my bones trembled. A spirit swept my face, and my hair stood on end. The spirit stopped, but I couldn't see its shape. There was a form before my eyes. In the silence, I heard a voice say, Can a mortal be more innocent? Can a mortal be innocent before God? Can anyone be pure before the Creator? If God does not trust his own angels and has charged his messengers with foolishness, how much less will he trust people made of clay? They are made of dust, crushed as easily as a moth. They are alive in the morning and dead by evening, gone forever without a trace. Their tent cords are pulled, and their tent collapses, and they die in ignorance. Okay. Absolutely, Cindy. Absolutely. Yes, Crystal, that he has to go give an account. That Satan has to go give an account. Everyone will give an account. All right. Let's move on to Trim Healthy Mama 100 Days of Inspiration. We are on day 19. Okay. Today's thank you. God's purpose for our lives is to be abounding with thanksgiving. Colossians 2:7. That doesn't mean a thank you every now and then, but a lifestyle abounding with thankfulness, over the top with thankfulness. May we never be like the 9 lepers who, after they were healed, went rejoicing on their way without ever bothering to thank the one who healed them, which is in Luke 17:11 through 19. What are you thankful for today? She does kind of an acrostic here. T, I am thankful for our family table, where we enjoy the presence of God, great laughs, family discussions, and where we make rich memories. H is for husband. I am thankful that God blessed me with my faithful husband and that we have been married nearly 52 years. Always. A is for always. I am thankful that God is always available to hear my cry. N is for nurturing and nourishing. I am thankful for God-anointed career of nurturing and nourishing my family. K is for kindness. I am thankful for God's kindness and mercy to me. F is for faithfulness. I am thankful for God's great faithfulness to me, which is never failing. U is for understanding. I am thankful for God giving me understanding of his truth. And L is for loving. I am thankful for God for loving me enough to send his only son to die for my sins and shed his precious blood. All right. Super prepared girl. You may not have a strong willpower or a penchant for healthy foods, but if you prepare for the cold blast of wintry temptations in the safety of summer weather, then you'll fare well. My nickname, coined by Pearl, who is often bewildered at my fervor for preparing ahead, is Super Prepared Girl. Here are some of my tips. Unless it's life or death mad rush out of the house, always throw a zippy or two of healthy munchies into your purse. A few zippy stuffer ideas could be a couple of squares of 85% chocolate and a handful of dry roast almonds. Try a plan-approved protein bar and a cheese stick or two, or some celery stalks with unsweetened almond or peanut butter. Many times I don't even need to eat these snacks, so I simply throw them back in the fridge as soon as I get home. But they are there to ensure I won't get hangry. That's when you're so hungry you get angry. Oh, and pack them full enough to share if you are a social birdie. If I am going out for an extended time and might miss a full meal, I always take my gorgeous little Super Prepared Girl cooler pouch with foods like an avocado chicken stuffed Wonder Wrap and my famous loaded kefir smoothie in a clean salsa jar. Or I could pack an Ezekiel tuna wrap with loads of luscious lettuce and light balsamic dressing with a tiny container. The options are endless. If you don't have a little cooler, just throw a couple of handfuls of frozen berries in a jar with some plain Greek yogurt and a dash of THM pure stevia extract and a squirt of vanilla. The frozen berries keep the yogurt fresh, and by the time you are hungry, you will have melted berry swirl of creamy wonderfulness. Serene. Those are some good ideas. Get up again. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Romans 3:23. This is what every single one of us has in common: sin. The Greek meaning for come short also means fall short. We have all fallen out of God's glory, but the difference is that some of us decide to get back up with help. The following verse says, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. Jesus holds out his hand to help us get up after a fall. It's our choice whether we want to reach out and take it or not. No one can be perfect, but everyone can make an effort. Meadow. Okay. All right, you guys. Oops, knocked my camera over. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's been an interesting morning. Oh my gosh. I've been up a couple hours already, and apparently I'm still not awake. I need to warm up my coffee. It got cold while I was talking. Still tastes divine. All right, so my plan for breakfast this morning is to have oatmeal with cauliflower again. This time I'm going to make maple pecan oatmeal. And I'm going to make it with the way I made it the other day that I fell in love. So I made it live the other day and was like, oh, by the end of the bowl, I was like, ugh. And then after I was like, it wasn't so bad. But then a few days later, I made it again and I cooked the cauli rice first and I loved it. So I'm going to make that again today. So you see how I did it. Super easy and really, really delicious the way I've been making it. And I've actually been craving it. I never in my life, girl, I never thought I would crave oatmeal. Here I am killing it. Craving oatmeal instead of Pop-Tarts. My mind is blown. All right, you guys, I love you all. Have a blessed day, and I hope to see you for breakfast. I'm frozen on the screen. I don't know if I'm frozen on your screen or if you can even hear me or if all you see is that funny face that I have frozen on the screen, but we'll see. I'll see you for breakfast in a few.